All right. Well, see how big I didn't realize my head was this big. My head literally, y'all, I promise you, you see that faint line in the back? Yeah, I'm not like, this ain't like a split screen. My head is literally that big. Wow. Why y'all ain't never told me that? Why y'all, you can't even trust folk these days to not tell you, you know what? In love, you tell, you tell me, I appreciate you, bro, but your head is big. Now I don't got a water head, like my dad used to say, water head. I don't even know I still don't know what that means. But yeah, looking at this, I didn't realize it. And so I want to take this time and say I am sorry for scaring maybe some of y'all. I really apologize. I had no idea my head was this big. But anyway, I'm sitting this way because I am yielding the seat to my beautiful wife here. And in fact, she got a seat upgrade. I sit on milk cartons. No, and so anyway, so in this broadcast, we're going to be hearing from Nicole because she is going to be, just really getting into this time that we're in. We're in a very weird time, this time period right now. I know many of you right now, if you're in other parts of the country, you're dealing with this snowstorm. Put it in chat too if you're coming in, how much snow you got. You dealing with the snowstorm. It's Sunday. You got the big protests and stuff that are going on. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And, and one of the things that we have set up here on Sabbatree is we want to be able to provide some real solutions. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not just talk about it. So, but anyway, she's going to be talking about one of those solutions that we are introducing. All right. So what I'm going to do is let me put on some music first, and we're going to give people a little bit of time to come on, and we'll give it about a minute, and then she's going to jump right in. All right, we're going to give it about another 20 seconds. Let's do 20 seconds. Then we're going to get started. Put in the chat, by the way, while we're waiting here, how much snow you got. If you got any snow in your neck of the woods, let us know. I can tell you how much snow we got here in Arizona. 0. I'm okay with that. I like seeing it from a distance. I do like being in the snow, but I don't like that driving it. You can have that. All right, we're going to go ahead and get in it. Thank you so much for joining us. And just think of me as the tech guy in the background, helping her out here. This is just about as much as you'll see my big face here for now. And I still can't believe that. I was like, dang, on it. I looked at anyway. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over here to my wife, and she's going to get in it. And I am excited about this. All right, so let's go ahead and get in it, and there you go.
There we go. sitting a little lower than usual. And make sure y'all can hear me. Make sure the audio is all good. And yeah. So, and we, being in Jersey. Want me to turn the fan on? No, I'm good. Being in Jersey, yeah, we would have been taking part in that snowstorm right now. I do miss the snow. I know those of you that are in it don't, but I do. I just think the snow is gorgeous. It's just beautiful. So I do miss that, being out here in Arizona, but I don't envy you guys that are going to be, not sick and shut in, but shut in for a few days with the snow. But like Dwayne mentioned, we're in some strange times, I would say. There are a lot of things that are changing very rapidly in business, in the workplace, in, just in people's everyday lives, whether it's layoffs that are happening. There are things that are just changing very, very rapidly, right? That make you question, what am I really doing? What should I be doing? What's the next step for me? All of these questions, come up when times are uncertain, right? When we're going through times of uncertainty. And someone said to me it was just recently, actually, and she was talking to me about her job. And she said, well, let me back up a little bit. What I'm going to be talking about tonight, really briefly, because it's pretty late, I think, on the East Coast. So I don't plan on being on here too long, right? Just really informal, just going to chat for a little bit this evening. And what I'm going to be talking about is how I changed my identity, right? That's what I really want to lock in on tonight, how I changed my identity. And so back to this woman that was talking to me about her job. She was clearly in a rut. She, let's call her Miss B. Okay, we'll call her Miss B. I don't have her permission to say her name out, so we'll call her Miss B. And she was talking to me about her job, and she works in insurance. And she had come home. She was come home from working. She was just frustrated. She said, what am I doing? What am I doing? What is this? This isn't even anything real. Like, where is the real meaning in what I'm doing? She said, she was talking about the insurance industry, and, she said, it's just a bunch of ones and zeros. It's a system that was designed to make money off of things that may never happen, And she was really struggling with just the lack of meaning in what she was doing. Didn't really like her job. The people that she worked with, they were nice enough, but there was no meaning. She wasn't getting any joy, right, out of her job, out of what she was doing. And that is very, very common for people, not just with your job, but for people to just wake up and find themselves in a rut. They're not feeling forward progress. They're not feeling passionate about where they are. They are just stuck. They are just in a rut. And those ruts, they can catch up to you very quickly without you even know. They can sneak up on you without you really noticing that you're unhappy, without you really noticing that, man, this is it's another day, same stuff, another day. It's like you're just existing. You know what I mean? And that's what was happening with Miss B. And so I started talking to her about what, some of the things that were her passions. What are the things that she really loved? What are some of the things that she really wanted to do? What are things that really get her fired up? And in this conversation, in this exchange, several things emerged, and you can just see the light start glowing in her eyes. Like, she was coming alive, talking about these things that genuinely make her happy and intrigue her, and things she wanted to learn more about. And I knew, I was like, okay, there it is. There's the sweet spot. There it is. And we started digging down more and digging down more and digging down more. And she is right in the valley of decision. She is leaning right now towards staying in that job for the income for the meantime, while she launches, or relaunches, I should say, her home-based business that she had just, she had kind of walked away from it for a while, but she's now, kind of feeling that energy move towards doing something that she really wants to do. Because a rut can make you feel like that's it. This is it for you. You are stuck. There's no more. There's nothing more. This is what you do. This is how you live. This is your day to day, And many of us have experienced that. Many of us are experiencing that. I experienced that. I've experienced that many times in my life. But what I've learned since then is, when you find yourself in that place, in that rut, it's not enough to, think positive thoughts. It's not enough to say some affirmations. It's not enough to, be hopeful. It's what happens when you get into a rut is your brain is operating based on the defaults that you have preset, right? So your brain, it's called the default mode network of the brain, and your brain literally settles in to the program that you've given it. So if the program running in your brain is, I work hard and I never get ahead, or if the program running in your brain in the in the default mode network of your brain is, I try to make friends, I try to build relationships, but nobody really likes me. It never really works out. Things, I always get abandoned, or people just kind of brush me off. Nobody's checking for me, so to speak, or those people are the ones that always make all the money. I'm just going to be struggling. That's it. These things that you may not say out of your mouth, but they're those quiet thoughts that have crept in, right? And they have not just crept in. They have pulled up a seat, a sofa, a pillow. They got their blanket. They are set, and you don't even know that those thoughts are really playing in the background. You could just be driving in your car and you see somebody drive past you, and maybe they're in a really nice car, or maybe whatever. You see some people out shopping and they seem like they're carefree, and you look over there and you're like, must be nice. And it's like it's an unconscious thing, right? It's a thought that just must be nice to be them. Right? And you don't even know you're doing it. So what happens with the default mode network of the brain is that when you are, like I mentioned, you're just out driving. You're not really fully engaged. You're kind of in that, you're not daydreaming, but you're just kind of, you're detached, right? You're not engaged solving a problem, or, talking to someone on the phone. You're just, for example, driving, or you're just sitting looking out of the window, or right? The default mode network, that's when it takes over. And what happens is, the more the default mode network runs on autopilot, these negative thoughts, the more deeply entrenched they become in your belief system, right? Let me give you another one. Hey, Willie Rivers, Todd Wilson, Justice 85151. For example, so finances, a lot of people have a lot of blocks around finances, and they don't realize it's things they might have been taught as a child. So for example, if you ever heard your mom, your dad, or adults around you when you were young say, oh, Yeah, those people, they're just filthy rich. They just filthy rich. You don't know it as a child, but what that's doing is that's implanting in your mind that to be rich is to be filthy, right? That there's some level of dirtiness or filthiness associated with wealth. I'm not making any kind of like, don't decide, I'm saying, right? So there's an association there between, money and something unclean or unpleasant. Another one, I used to always hear my parents say, money doesn't grow on trees. Look, you want this, you want that, you want this, you want me to buy you this, that. What, you think money grows on trees? Well, that was a saying, right? But what it says to a child is it is very difficult to make money. Making money is difficult. Living comfortably is difficult because money doesn't grow on trees, right? Another one, if you're coming from a religious background, right? You heard that the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, most people don't even quote it like that. Most people just say, honey, money is the root of all evil. So you hear that. And let's say if you're coming out of a religious, setting or background, it was celebrated that you lived very, not like a pauper, right? But you lived very humbly, extremely humbly. And to live very comfortably was almost kind of frowned upon, right? Maybe not in today's, but when I was growing up, right, in a religious background, that's what you saw. All of these things create beliefs that just run silently in the background. Now, I was just talking about things related to money, but it could be anything, relationships, health, it could be anything. I'm going to give you another one. With related to health. I would hear, I don't think my brother's on this live, but my brother always would say, I might say, how you feeling, bro? Man, I'm breaking down, man. I'm old, I'm getting old, I'm breaking down. It's like, and I'm like, don't say that, right? But the more we affirm these very sneaky beliefs, right? Even if they're spoken in jest, many a truth is spoken in jest. They are, your mind is always listening. The brain is always listening, right? Your nervous system is always listening, right? So we take these things in and we don't even know that they're becoming a part of our belief structure. So you wake up and you find yourself in a rut. You're not happy. You don't have enough. You, enough resources, enough time, enough whatever. Okay, that's another one, right? We are famous for saying, I don't have time for that. I do not have time for that, right? There's just not enough time. I don't have enough time. And here's the thing, that belief that everything takes time. You want to be a success, it takes a long time. You want to find the right spouse, that takes a long time and a lot of trial and error. See, these are these sneaky beliefs that if we're not careful, they basically land us in a rut. Because what happens is the life that we really want to live is always just out of reach. It's always just a little bit farther than what we can reach. Us being comfortable financially, well, I just got to work a little bit harder. It'll come in time. Or, whatever those things are, right? Whatever those things are that we are, wanting for ourselves, that those types of thoughts always make us believe that they're just out of reach, right? And so what you have to do, what I had to do, and I'll tell you a little bit about what happened with me is, being an entrepreneur, right? And having had several businesses throughout the years, what happened with me is I can't say I woke up and found myself. I kind of was finding myself very unhappy in work, right? I'm talking in work. Thankfully, I love my family. My family is a blessing and they keep me very grounded, But as far as my work life was concerned, I was finding myself very unhappy, unfulfilled, unhappy, burned out, exhausted, same stuff, different day. And I could not see my way out of it. I could not see the end. I just felt like this is just what I have to do because it's a business and, what are you going to do? You're not going to just throw it to the wolves. What are you, how, I don't even know how to escape out of this. Not Samba Tree, by the way. This is, my husband and I have owned several businesses over the years. So I'm giving you just how I came out of this one specific business. But no, Samba Tree is my baby, our baby, and definitely a passion every day, helping people heal. But this business, so I found myself very unhappy and did not know how to get out of it, right? And so I started researching, and I started hearing, I wonder if I should go back a little bit. Let me just quickly, gently go back a little bit. When you find yourself in a place that is unsettling, unhappy, unfulfilled or unfulfilling, somebody said, if you find yourself in hell, keep going, right? Because staying there, you're just gonna burn. Like what else is there, right? If you find yourself in an uncomfortable place, keep going, right? So you can work yourself through it, right? So I started researching, for entrepreneurs or CEOs that are in this place. And this is where I want to be. This is where I am. How do I close that divide, right? And it opened up an amazing journey for me. And it all surrounded around changing my identity. Let me give you another little tidbit, right? So we talked about the default network of the brain. There is another system in the brain called the reticular activating system. And I've talked about this before, and I think I featured a neuroscientist on here talking about this before. With the reticular activating system, what it does is it is basically like the brain's, I'm using my words, okay, loosely to kind of give you the essence of what it is. It's the brain's filtration system, meaning that it will filter out what doesn't align with your beliefs. So what you believe about yourself, it's going to show you more of that, right? So for example, you're buying a car. You decide you want to buy a Lexus, whatever. I don't know. Toyota, a Lexus, a Honda, whatever, a Genesis, whatever. You decide you want to buy a specific type of car in a specific color in a specific model. And you've heard people say, and it's probably happened to you, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I'm seeing all these Toyotas, all these Highlanders, Toyota Highlander that I wanted to buy. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing them all of a sudden. No. They've always been there. But the reticular activating system is now filtering your reality based on what you have placed your energy, interests, or thoughts on, right? So your thought was, I really want a Toyota Highlander. I really want that. Now, all of a sudden, your brain says, okay, got it. I'm going to start showing you all the things regarding Toyota Highlander, and you begin to see these cars on the road. That's a simple example. But now let's bring it in to some of these negative, right, self-talk that we do, some of this negative self-talk that we do. So if we feel Like we work, and we never get ahead. We just never get ahead. Let's say it's in your job. There can be a promotion that's posted. It's right there. You have all the qualifications for it. You have the experience, you have the tenure, you have everything to get that job. But because you believe that you work and never get ahead, you look at it and you're like, yeah, let me see. I wonder who they're going to give it to this time. Or, yeah. And you don't even apply for it. Or you see the job posting and you say, yeah, with this economy, I know there's going to be layoffs, and let me just stay where I am versus, going and doing something new. Do you see? Your brain will filter that opportunity out to align with the belief that you already have that says, I work hard and I never get ahead. Right? So what do you have to do? You have to change your identity. You have to change who you've become. Because what got you in this rut is a culmination of thoughts and beliefs, right? And you're in this place. So now you have to reverse engineer, okay, yourself out of this place. So how do you do that? How do we do that, right? So the first thing you want to do, there's many ways you can do it, right? But even acknowledging that you're in this place is a huge step. People live till they're, 6 feet under and never learn this lesson, right? There's people who just go on for years and years and years, and they never have the opportunity to learn what I'm about to tell you, okay? So changing your identity, what you have to do is not just think about who you want to be, talk about who you want to be, hope for who you want to be. You actually have to be who you want to be. You have to be who you want to become, because the brain requires a multi-sensory experience, right? I've said before, the brain does not know the difference between an experience that you're actually living through and one that you're deeply imagining. The brain doesn't know the difference. Doesn't know the difference. So if you're watching a movie, somebody gets shot or somebody dies tragically, and you feel that thing, you start crying, or you feel that, your brain doesn't know the difference. Brain doesn't know. The brain thinks you actually saw somebody just get shot. Okay? If you are, let me say this, because I don't want to get into your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. I'll just dip here for a quick minute. Your subconscious mind does not know, right, the difference. Your subconscious mind makes up 95% of your thoughts during the day. Your conscious mind, right? I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to meet this goal. I'm going to such and such. That's 5%. 5% of your thoughts is your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind, like I said, those programs and different things that are running in the background, that's 95% of the thoughts that you think every day, which is why just consciously changing your thoughts is not enough. That's catching maybe 5%. But what about the other 95? The other 95 needs an identity shift. That's what the other 95, I turned my little mic. That's what the other 95% needs. You have to have an identity shift. So what that would look like is this. If I want to live a life where I am free in my mind, I am fulfilled in my work or my business, I am covered in terms of my resources, my finances are completely covered, not just needs, but I can actually live comfortably and do some of the things that I want to do. If I want to be whatever that is, you want to be whatever, a leading surgeon. You want to be a leading author. You want to be a speaker that travels and speaks on stages. Whatever it is, you have to go there in your mind first and include all of the sensory experiences that come with that. Let me show you how that's done. So for example, if you wanted to if you wanted to be a very successful business owner in this specific industry, whatever it is, right? You are going to envision yourself sitting down with those clients, working on those projects, having an email inbox full of new leads, people that really want to work with you. You're going to envision completing jobs, projects, and things like that for your clients or in your business that continue to push you forward. And as you're envisioning this, you are literally going to see yourself, how you're dressed. Not that clothes make the man or make the woman. I'm telling you, you want to see all aspects of this thing that you're envisioning. Are you healthier? Does your body feel better? You know what I mean? How are you dressed? How are you moving through those client calls? How do you wake up in the morning? How do you go to bed at night? In other words, right now you may go to bed worrying. In your perfect life, do you go to bed fulfilled and happy with a smile on your face? You want to see that. You want to take some time and walk yourself through every part of what this new life looks like, right? What the you living this life does. What does he or she think? What does he or she do? How does he or she speak? Are you speaking much more confidently now? Are you not shrinking back like you used to? Are you making that phone call to that new sales lead or whatever? Do you understand what I'm saying? If it's relationships, are you standing your ground instead of being walked over? Are you, creating space, right, between you and those draining friendships that you've had all these years? Whatever the situation is, right? Whatever the box is that you want to address, you have to see that thing multi-layered and really dig into that thing when you imagine it, right? Some people call it visualizing. It doesn't matter. You're taking your brain on an experience. It is experiencing you as a different you, a new you, right? And so what happens when you give your brain that full sensory experience? Your brain says, oh, this is different. This is how we live? Really? This is how we speak? I don't know. This is probably just a fluke. This is probably an error in the program. I don't really know if that's, I don't know. Because your brain is like, okay, let's see. So that has to become a habit, right? When you are in the bed, before I wake up, I am taking my brain on a trip, on an experience through what I want my day to be like, or what I see for my life. I'm taking my brain through that before I even get up, before I touch my phone, before my feet land on the carpet. I am letting my brain know, right? I am giving it notice. This is how we live. Not this. We don't do this anymore. We're doing this now, not this. We're doing this, right? And the more, think about it like this. The more you take your brain on this journey, right? Pardon the pun. The more you take your brain on this journey, the more it gets used to the road, right? So the more, just like you drive somewhere that you've driven for the last 20 years, you could drive there blindfolded. I mean, you already know the way. Okay. So when you first start envisioning yourself doing these new things or being this new person, it is going to feel fake, phony. It's going to feel stupid. You're going to feel like, okay, this is just dumb. This is all fluff. Give me some, look, I need some real answers. I don't have time for this nonsense, right? There's going to be some of that because your brain is going to fight back against it because that's not you. That's not the old you. That's not the you you've been. So the brain wants to keep you in the you that you've been because that's the program that you gave it, right? So in order to move into the new or the higher version of you, you've got to let it get used to the road. So you've got to continue to take it on that trip, right? Take it on that experience. And then it will become like second nature, okay? So that's what I had to do. And some people do scripting, well, they'll write it out. Other people will do visualization or they'll imagine, take their brain on this imagination trip, right? Other people will do, they'll incorporate that with some affirmations and all that. There are multiple different ways, right? Methods, but regardless of the method, the fact is that your brain is not going to change unless you give it a new program, you give it a new experience. That's the only way it's going to change. And your beliefs are never going to change unless your identity changes. Why? Because a belief can't land on something. A belief can't land on an identity that doesn't match it. Okay? So the belief that you're trying to grow has to match an identity that you have claimed for yourself. Okay? If there's a mismatch, it's not going anywhere. It's just gonna float away. That is why people can say, and I'm gonna let me, before I go there, let me say this. When you do this all of this that I'm talking about, and you first couple it with regulating your nervous system, right? One of the ways is through deep breathing, okay? When you're doing deep breathing, your brain waves slow down. And there's no way to be in fight or flight with slower brain waves. For example, if there's a dog chasing you, a Doberman pinscher that is like trained to bite, okay, and a Doberman pinscher is chasing you, you're not slow breathing. You are running, you are panting, your brain, the only thing that your brain is doing is trying to get you to safety. That's it. That is it. So it's impossible to have slow breathing and be in fight or flight at the same time. Does that make sense? Right? So when you slow your breathing down, it slows your brain waves down, and it says to your nervous system, which I like to call your higher system, it says to your body, you're safe. There's no imminent threat. There's no imminent danger. There's nobody coming to hurt you. There's nobody coming to, you're safe. You're good. You're good, right? The way our bodies were designed, that fight or flight mechanism is for the situation I just mentioned. You're being chased, your life is being threatened, you have to stand up for your family and fight, or something going on. It's meant to be a passing event. You know what I'm saying? But because of the environment that we live in today's world, right, that is ever changing, people are in a constant state of fight or flight. They're afraid AI is going to take their job. They're afraid that their relationship is going to end tomorrow. They're afraid that they're going to be abandoned. They're afraid that they're going to, whatever it is. They're not going to get the job. And if they don't get the job, then they'll never be seen as valuable. And if they're never seen as valuable, then they'll never be able to get married. Whatever. It just goes on and on and on and on and on, right? Because you're living in a constant state of fight or flight. There's no bear chasing you. There's no dog after you. There's no, axe murderer coming, but your body is in fight or flight, right? So when you stay there, the body gets dysregulated on many, many levels. So what you have to do, one step, one thing, right? One method is you begin this deep breathing habit, and that begins to slow the brain waves down. And that signals to the body that, Nicole, you're safe. Willie, you're safe. Todd, you're safe. You're good. When your body feels like it is, when your mind feels that it's safe and your nervous system feels that it's safe, then your brain opens itself up to be more creative, to find solutions, do you understand what I'm saying? So let's say there's a problem. Let's say you're dealing with something financial and you have to pay this thing. Maybe it's a hospital bill, maybe it's a house payment, whatever, right? Your children are in college and the finances are just all over the place, whatever it is, right? You're in fight or flight about your finances constantly. And there's no room to be creative because you're panicking. You're like, oh my gosh, if I can't pay this, and then she's gonna have to leave college. And if she has to leave college, and oh my gosh, her dream is all of this fear. So when you slow those brain waves down long enough for your brain and your body to feel like it's safe, then you make room for your brain to now say, okay, since I'm not fighting for my life anymore, let me find some solutions. What could we do? Oh, we could do this. We could do that. Even if she doesn't want to do financial aid, actually, she could do X, Y, and Z. And we could do, and all of a sudden, you're feeling better and your brain is finding solutions to the problem just 20 minutes ago you thought was just, there was no solution. It was never going to be solved, right? So it's very much about getting your body into a place where it can envision you whole, safe, elevated in this new life that you want to live. It's extremely important. But I will say this, what we have been trained in this system that we live in, how we've been trained is that the things that I'm talking about, that's fluff. That's just, that's nice. Those are the nice to haves, man. That's okay. But you better go out there and make that money, or you better, it's like this. Action. We have been trained that action is the only thing that matters. You got to take action. If you're not taking action, you're not moving forward. You got to take action. And so these skills that actually open up your body and your mind to limitless possibilities for your life, we ignore. We ignore the very thing that actually will push us forward and elevate us to where we want to go, because we're so busy figuring out what action we have to take, right? When the brain is in fight or flight, so it can't even take any meaningful action anyway. The action that it's going to take is going to be based out of fear. So the action that your brain would take in a state of fight or flight is not moving you forward. And it's probably, I would argue, getting you deeper into a hole. It's getting you deeper into a hole that you're going to have to dig yourself out of anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So this system definitely focuses on, it focuses on the wrong thing. I'm just going to say what it is. It really focuses on the wrong thing. Action isn't bad. Action isn't bad, right? It's inspired action that is what we want. We want inspired action. We want you to take action. I want you to take action based on a healthy nervous system and a brain that sees you with all of your limitless possibilities. I don't care if you're 70 years old. I don't care if you're 80 years old. Don't you know there's 70-year-olds out here writing books, 80-year-olds, still. I mean, listen, it's never too late. It's never too late. The body always wants to get into proper alignment. Always, 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 never too late. So here's the thing. Because I think it's getting late. My husband, this what you see on the bottom of the screen, that is compliments of Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. I don't even know how he does stuff like that, but thank you, Dwayne. This is something I've been wanting to get to for a very long time. Publicly offering coaching. I've been coaching over a decade. Been coaching in life and business mindset over a decade. I've coached entrepreneurs. I've coached mental health professionals. I've coached stay-at-home moms, to launch their business. And even couples to launch their business. My husband and I jointly. So it doesn't really matter the walk of life, but over a decade, I've been coaching, and it's been some of the most fulfilling work I've ever done. And so I said in 2026, I want to do more of this. I want to do more of this because I love seeing someone come in one way and walk out better. Do you understand what I'm saying? And of course, that's up to the individual, taking the steps that they do need to take, right? I can't do it all, okay? But it's extremely rewarding. So coaching through love, this is something that the reason why I called it that, even though it sounds, to me initially, it sounded a little bit generic, but there is nothing more suited to what I do. There's no better suited name than that. To me, in love, I'm not talking about hugs and kisses. That's not what we're talking about, right? Love is what powers this whole thing, right? Love is what has the trees growing and the waves waving, okay? And the moon rising and the sun setting. It is all powered by the frequency of love. That is what it keeps it going. So this counseling is that. This is coaching through love. And it's love that speaks to the inner you, helping you to come out of that rut, elevate into the you that you actually see and want to see for yourself, right? Methodologies can't really do that, all right? Strategies, helpful, they're tools, but they can't really do that, right? Being likable can't really do that. Love is the only thing. It's the most powerful thing. It's the most unshakable, unmovable thing that gets to the core of the individual, that speaks to them right where they are, and it sees past all the deficiencies that they think they have, they believe that they have, and it calls them higher. There's nothing else that can do that. It's not me. It is literally the thing that makes all of nature run, okay? Love is the only thing that can do that. It is the same love that created you, okay? And that is sustaining you. It is the only thing that can actually call somebody. I can't say pull, because I'm not pulling you, okay? You got to walk up yourself, all right? But it's only that can call to the inner part of an individual and have them embrace this transformation in their life. And so that's the reason why I called it that, right? That's the reason why I called it that. So look, it is not light and fluffy by any by any stretch of the imagination. It is definitely hardcore. It is definitely hard hitting in a loving way. You understand what I'm saying? But it's something that moves us into better, right? Into more. Okay. And so anyway, so I opened it up, I think a week ago. Not even a week ago. I don't even think, maybe a week ago. And I am so thankful for those of you that have already signed up, for coaching. It is just, I'm very, very thankful for you. And I'm really excited to be working with you. I can only work with a certain amount of a very small number of people, because one-on-one coaching, it pulls from both, right? It pulls from the coach and it pulls from the person in the session, right? So you can't take 50 people. I can't take 30 people, okay? You can't. It's too many. So a small number of slots, one-on-one coaching, 8 weeks. It's an 8-week coaching program, or experience, I should say. Weekly sessions with me, just you and me together, right? Working it out, working through. And we're going to work mind, body, right? And then business, or life and business. If you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a professional, that's fine. Meaning if career is not one of those areas that you're working on, that's fine. But we have 8 weeks to walk you through the you that you've been, to open you up to start moving as the you that you've always wanted to be, right? And so this program doesn't get you from A to Z, right? Because you can't get I won't say you can't get from A to Z in 8 weeks, but what we're going to do is sit down. I really am going to hear from you, and we're going to focus on a couple of objectives, and we're going to really lock in on those, right? And really start breaking you open in those areas, right? Where you've been stuck and been in a rut. And I'm super excited about it. So if you have questions, I think you can see on the screen, you can go to sambatree.com. You can click on the coaching tab. And I'll respond. I do have a coaching email. Once we start coaching with each other, we'll be communicating over there on that. But for now, you can just go right to the website and fill out the contact form at the bottom. If you have any questions, if you're unsure, is this for me? I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't, all of that. It's no question is too small. Send the questions in, and I am really, really looking forward to sharing with you the experience that I have coaching with other, the experience that I've gained coaching other people through to success, and just sharing what I have with you and helping you move into that place where you want to be. So I think that is all. I'm just going to peek in the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go to sleep with all your snow. Let's see. 3 inches of ice or snow in Charlotte. My goodness. Oh, that's great. Todd Wilson, that's awesome. That's what you want to do. That's great. That's great. He said he's been envisioning himself and locking in that feeling, that emotion in his mind. And then he'll say, I am this now. Very, very good. That's good. That's good. Hey, Gasmine, how are you? It's so good. It's so good to see you. Let me know how your brother is doing. CTO Drums, very good to see you. And anybody else who may have questions, just reach out. I'll definitely get back to you, usually within 24 hours. And that's it. That's all I got. I'm not going to hold you. Love, love, love to all of you. And that's a wrap for tonight. Good luck with the snow, or good, I won't say good luck. I'll just say, work out all that snow. Go get the shovels, the ice melt, the salt, all the things that you need, all the things. Okay. And I'll sit over here in Phoenix in the sun. Okay. Yeah. I'll be waiting for you when you get out of the snow. Love y'all.